Giants defense that did the job. And he joins us now on the show. Damon, it's Michael and Don. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
We're doing great. How big was that win for your team?
Oh, it was huge, man. Losing a few games in a row, after starting 2-0, it was just big in all aspects, for team morale purposes, and guys know that their hard work isn't in vain.
All right, let's get to that goal line stand. I was a little surprised they didn't take the points on the road. What was your thinking, and how pumped up are you when a team decides to go for it on fourth down where you have a chance to hold them scoreless on the possession?
Oh, well, it was exciting. For one, we knew that the Ravens were a team that would go for it inside of the 5 if need be. And to see them run the ball 3 times in a row, with little to no success, I was kind of expecting the same thing, on fourth down. But the guys, everybody did an excellent job of, building a wall so that the Ravens felt like they needed to go on the outside to try to, have some success. But Jonathan Casillas and as well as Mark Hursley, they put forth a great effort on that play.
Now, Damon, how important was it for your front line to get to Flacco? Because you guys got to him a lot more than you've been getting to quarterbacks, and the offensive line was a little banged up, but you guys obviously have a lot of talent there. How frustrating has it been that the line has only had 2 sacks?
Well, because just for production purposes, guys know the numbers aren't where we expected them to be or where they should be. But for anybody who was actually watching the games, you would see how much respect they're giving our defensive ends. JPP and Olivier, they rarely get the opportunity just to rush on the outside, without anybody helping them. Those guys are getting chipped by tight ends, running backs, the majority of the game. So, which leaves some double teams on the inside, which is always, a tough position to get to the quarterback at. But despite all of that, we still feel like we should be well and above where we are now.
All right, one of the big topics of conversation was the DRC pass interference that led to a go-ahead score for Baltimore. How difficult is it to keep your composure when you see or when you hear how bad a call that ended up being?
Well, it was tough because, you would like to hope, or, I would think that, the referees aren't doing anything like that on purpose. They aren't purposely making calls to extend the game or give another team a chance to win. And, I'm a guy that believes that. But when you see something like that at the time, seeing it in real motion, it didn't seem like a penalty was necessary on that at that time. But if the referee felt like he had, the call and he was making the right call, then I could respect that. But, you never want a penalty to affect the outcome of the game. So had it went the other way, had the game gone the other way, I'm pretty sure the league would have been here for me.
It was an awful call. I mean, the more you look, and there was an awful call in the Atlanta and
Seattle game. Yeah.
I mean, just terrible on Julio Jones. And my question to you, Damon, maybe this is beyond our pay grade. I wonder if they should review pass interference because, I mean, those were so clearly wrong, those calls, that if they were reviewed, they'd be overturned.
Yeah, that's something I would definitely hope that they would look into. Of course, it would prolong the game. But stopping it for, coaches challenging plays that, sometimes aren't needed or any other stops that we have for TV timeouts that I deem unnecessary. I think those are one of those moments, especially if not make it a select time in the game, maybe in the fourth quarter, the last 4 minutes or something like that.
Right.
That those penalties could be challenged. If not challenged, then reviewable. But I'm definitely so.
All right, so we've talked kind of around it so far today about Odell Beckham Jr. Phenomenal game, unbelievable performance. But distraction keeps getting thrown out all the time. You're in that locker room. You don't necessarily play with him because you're a defender, but do you sense any of these things, these conversations, as being a distraction to you in your job?
The only distraction I would say that it causes is that it's constantly brought up in the media.
Right.
It's not brought up in the locker room at all. That guy loves the game of football, and you want to see somebody with that much passion and he actually cares about the outcome of the game. And that's something that goes a long way, especially in today's game. I've had the opportunity to talk to some guys who played in this league a long time, and they can tell you that the passion and just the love for the game of football was missing today. Guys are just out there playing for, money or fame or something like that. But to have a guy like him who actually loves the game, I would hate to see that love taken away from him. But in the locker room, I think it's not a distraction at all. As long as he's handling his business on the field, the media is going to create whatever type of distraction they want to create, albeit you have to give them a reason to do so. I don't think it's a distraction at all.
I don't see why it would be a distraction. But Damon, the thing that I took exception to yesterday, and you guys had to defend 7 yards less of real estate because he celebrated after the last touchdown. I don't understand that, Damon. I mean, then you're hurting your team. The other stuff is nonsense. It's fun, but when you take your helmet off and you get a 15-yard penalty, you're hurting your team. So what did the defense think when they said, "Okay, that's going to go. That's more work for us now"?
I don't think it crossed anybody's mind, really, to be 100% completely honest with you, because no matter what they did on the offensive side of the ball, once our offense gives us the lead, it should be no reason whatsoever we should lose the game. Whether it be a 3-0 score at the beginning of the game or a 7-0 score, or them putting us up late in the fourth quarter. Everybody knows that taking your helmet off is a penalty. Granted, we all know that. In the heat of the moment, the type of game that it was, this kid fighting through everything, has everybody, he's under a microscope right now, and that was just a big, huge moment for him, and he celebrated it. So, I would like to think next time he'll keep his helmet on, but no, I don't fault that guy at all for doing what he did.